Hi everyone, we're Bart and Melissa Kotter, as most of you know. We're here on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. It's a very special day today. Not only do we have a lineup of some amazing speakers that we're very excited have been able to join us today. We've got phenomenal panelists that are going to be speaking with you as well, but it is Bart's birthday today. So May 2nd, many years ago.
39 again.
That's right.
57 today.
Yeah, that's right. But we're excited because you're all here to help him celebrate his birthday as the world re-emerges, and we're allowed to do more things today. So it's perfect. On a more business note, Dr. Dick and Nancy Walker, we have had them on our webinars a couple of times now because they are absolutely the most beautiful people you'll ever want to meet, but their story is phenomenal, their ASEA story, and the length of time that they've actually spent in the industry. So they'll be sharing some great wisdom with us today and phenomenal knowledge. So I just, as usual, go through the agenda so that you know what's going on through the process of this webinar today. So we've got team recognition, we always love to start with, and by that, welcome everyone to the call from all around the world, new associates, guests, leaders from everywhere. We're really excited that we can get together once a month on this team call, and we're really looking forward to recognizing everyone who's rank advanced in the last 4 weeks, particularly during the shutdown, the lockdown that's been going on. These amazing people have been moving their ASEA business forward. So to recap, we've got Triple Diamond's Dr. Dick and Nancy Walker, who will speak to us, and Ambassador Triple Diamond Mal Sword. Maybe Dan Doyle would jump on too in terms of, say, his 2 bobs worth.
Got the amazing Ed Wiens is joining us today.
Our sponsor, Ed Wiens, and then we've got a team message, just some promotions so that you know what the promotion is that's running right now with ASEA before the deadline of May 8th in the US and May 15th here in Australia. So we'll go through that along with some important team updates and some upcoming events. So, so we'll move forward. I wanted to just recognize this amazing man. So happy birthday to Bart. And I wanted to just quickly introduce Ed. And Ed's actually known Bart for longer than me. I've known Bart for, can you hear us, Ed?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can. I've known Bart for 19 years, but gosh, Ed, you've known Bart for how long? 26 years?
Oh, we go back a ways. Yeah, we definitely go back a ways. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see if I can. You have to let me. You've got attendee screen sharing disabled, so you're gonna have to let me share it somehow. Click on the share screen option to let me share it.
My co-host.
We make you a co-host. That'll just click on that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe so. Okay, let's see if I can share it now.
Yeah, so you'll have some good stories on Bart, Ed.
Oh no, it might be dangerous.
I know. It could be. That's so true.
All back.
Okay, there we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Love it.
I always felt like Bart and I were really we were really brothers. We were just kind of just to make sure that our mothers are their reputations are protected. It would also be from different fathers. So we've always felt it was a real brotherhood. And so I thought, I look back through some of the pictures that I've got of me and Bart, and I got a lot of pictures, I'm sure, that are from the non-digital era. So it's kind of hard for me to find those. But this is one of the first. Let's see if I can make sure I can get my slides here to advance. There we go. This is Bart and I enjoying a great Alaska outing, and you want to look right between my head and Bart's head. You'll see and that is by the way not a virtual background. That's the actual background behind us up in Alaska. That was a great experience, Bart. That was a fantastic trip. Fishing the Wolverine Creek and that mom protecting her cubs. And anyway, remember that?
Oh, absolutely. That was the trip of a lifetime. Like you mentioned, you can see the cub off there to the right as well. She had a couple of cubs with her.
Yeah. This was probably 20. What would this be, Bart? 23, 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Anyways, I just a couple of other shots here that kind of show, you know, some of our old history. There's some of our Harley riding days. Bart and I are in the Badlands of South Dakota. Just a couple of bad boys on bad bikes, having a hot day that day. But man, what a great experience that was, and a couple others here. This is kind of when Bart and I began our ASEA venture. I think it was our first fly-in, Bart. We gathered there to see the old bottles, and it was kind of a virtual toast there to what was to come. And we had no idea, but we had a good feeling about it. And gosh, what an experience, what a ride it's been. And we certainly feel like we're still just getting started. So just want to thank you for being locking arms with me early on and just taking on this quest. And you talked about the rides we've had on a Harley. This ride of a lifetime with ASEA is still being written chapter by chapter, but what an exciting time. We've been some great places. This is, I think you and I think Doyley's actually was probably either took this picture or was in the picture. Sorry to cut you out there, Dan, but it was a great time just enjoying. I think it's one of the clubs over in Australia, and we're on the stage somewhere together. We've been on a lot of stages together, brother, and a lot more coming up. But of course, we've enjoyed great fellowship as couples. I think this is on a diamond trip someplace. Melissa was one of the most wonderful additions to a guy's life I've ever witnessed from afar. Rebecca was that for me. And we've just enjoyed a great fellowship as couples. And this was once when Bart and the great Lorraine were my bodyguards. A trip down to Adelaide, I think. And that was a fun trip. We got to do that again, but it was kind of fun just having some posing there with these folks. This was at the airport in Melbourne. They had a kind of a dress-up thing, so you pause when you're walking through the airport and just put on some crazy clothes. That was kind of fun. We've had some great experiences, Bart. This was golfing together in Ireland at the Diamond Trip recently, and probably most recently was this helicopter trip that we had over in Hawaii. That was a lot of fun. You know, I'm usually the one taking the pictures. Bart once in a while, and I'm sure this next picture is probably Bart's favorite picture of me, his brother from a different mother. We were going in these airboats down through the Everglades in Florida fishing, and of course the wind's in your face, and so you had to get this picture of my face flapping in the wind there. So, but let me say this, I've always known Bart to be a seeker of good counsel and of wisdom. And he has personally sought out the advice, I know, of a lot of people. He's pursued great teachers, great leaders. I like this picture. This is Bart probably sitting with the wisest man he's had a chance to sit down with and getting some great counsel from Bertus Norton. And Bart, I know you've been in the company of a lot of great people. You've learned a lot. You've been a learner. The whole time I've known you, you've been a learner. I remember, like, the first time I ever met you was at a seminar, and you just had that thirst for knowledge all over your countenance, and I've admired that about you. You've never stopped growing, and here you've had a chance to pick the brain of, I think, one of the brightest and most wise mentors that any of us could have ever hoped to cross paths with. And your whole team has benefited, Bart, from the fact that you've been a sponge of wisdom and wise counsel and good strategic thinking from great people. And the great thing about you is you're not a Dead Sea. You're a flow through. Information and knowledge flows into you, then flows out from you to your organization. So just want to compliment you, my friend. Say happy birthday to you. It's a pleasure to be teamed up with you in this venture, and just wish you all the best on your 57th birthday. You're lagging behind me, brother. But it's great to,
I'm working on
be partnered with you. Yeah, well, you better get a move on. So, happy birthday, buddy! Cheers.
What an absolutely cool surprise! Thank you so much. I had no idea that that was going to happen. Thank you for organizing that, Swear, and thank you, Ed.
Awesome. Yeah, you can blame that pretty lady sitting on your right there.
My goodness, we sure have a lot of history together, traveling the world doing trainings as well. So, yeah, this has been an amazing journey, and it's exciting to share it. Can't wait to go back up to Alaska and do that fishing again. So
we're gonna do it, man. We're gonna do it.
And where would we all be? We wouldn't be having this conversation if it wasn't for you and Rebecca. So
absolutely,
yeah, with being here with ASEA. So thank you, Ed. That was really special.
Having spent some time in Alaska, I can tell you that Bart is a very smart young man, because the most important thing to do when you go on an Alaskan fishing trip like that is to take along somebody who's older and slower than you are. Because when that mother bear gets upset, you don't want to be at the back of the line when you're running away. So
And you don't have to be.
it's
You don't have to kind of
a
run.
strategic move.
I just got to share a quick story on that. When we had been in Alaska for about a week, flying into all these cool places, and we'd been looking and waiting for a bear to come. And this was the spot for the bears. This is Wolverine Creek. This is where all the fish gather before they go up the creek. And the guide and I said, where are the bears? And they hadn't shown up yet. And he said, well, I tell you what, if you want to hike up that creek, I can just about guarantee you'll see a bear. But it'd be a good idea if you had a gun. we didn't have a gun, but Brody went up that creek. We hiked up there anyway, and sure enough, we saw a huge grizzly bear just tearing a fish apart. And this bear heard us and lifted its head. And I recalled something that we were told, and that was that if you see a bear, you should make sure that you let it know that you're there. In other words, don't surprise it. So Brody has kind of a theatrical background, and he decided to sing to this bear opera. And got a couple of photos, and I'm thinking to myself, well, the bear actually started kind of snorting and sniffing and shaking its head a little bit. And I got pretty nervous, and I thought, well, I only have to be faster than Brody. So.
Which is not ever going to be the case.
Probably not, no. But he quickly went back and started eating his fish again. But shortly after we got back, that mother bear showed up with her 2 grizzlies. So we came very close to getting between her and her cubs. But that was an exciting adventure. I can't wait to create more memories.
Especially you two, double trouble.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ed. Thanks everyone for joining in. It is a special day for Bart, and he actually gets to celebrate it twice, because really, I guess in the US it's tomorrow. So
there you go.
So thanks for joining in. So I'll just quickly transition back, because we've got some recognition to do now for the team. So Jenny Rose, we have a beautiful assistant in the Philippines. So she puts this together. I can't take any credit for it. She loves doing this and loves being able to make sure that you're all recognized. So as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to what's been going on globally, these rank advancements are really, really special. So congratulations to all of you.
So Director 300, we want to acknowledge all of you for your achievements. Director 300 is getting started in your business. You've got 300 points on your left, 300 points on your right. And it's it's also the measurement of taking your business further. As you hit the diamond ranks, you need to have create multiple diamond level legs. Director 700, this is similar to Director 300. You've sponsored at least 2 people, and you've created 700 points on your left side, 700 points on your right side within a calendar week. And so as we go through this last month's week rank advancements, we really want to acknowledge all of you for your incredible achievements for hitting Director 700. And we need the bubbles and the kazoos and everything. But
Yeah.
Bronze, this is a huge rank. This is the first executive rank. Want to acknowledge the bronze levels. This is a really major accomplishment. 2,000 points on the left, 2,000 points on the right. You've also achieved 2 Director 300 legs. So you're building and growing your team. And this is super. Now, the silver rank is doing 3,000 points on your left and right. You've got 3 Director 300 legs, so you're building, growing your team, and things are really moving forward. So, so again, massive congratulations to our new silver level executives. Well done.
Congratulations.
Now we move on. We have a brand new platinum. Congratulations to our platinum level associates. Week number 14. Very good job.
I was trying to pause it and I went too far. Hang
Okay.
on, let me do this again.
I'll
just
start at the beginning.
No, it's all good.
Okay, so let's see. So we've covered the rank advancements. We've covered and then we're going to get into the specialty awards. This is specialty awards is recognized by the company for a number of different things that here we are. Let's see.
They're coming up right now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, specialty awards, weeks 13 to week 16.
Yeah.
Here we are, top associate enrollers.
And these are just Australian based associates, because we don't get the records in our back office for any other area except Australia in our team.
So acknowledgement for the emerging leaders. This is where you've really helped to grow and develop your team. The EMP earners, this is where you're participating in the executive momentum pool. So huge congratulations to those people. The emerging leaders, this is where you're helping your team rank advance. And the auto ship all-stars, the people who have the most auto ships in their downline team. Let's see, here we are, EMP bonus earners as we go through the weeks. So great job, you guys. This is well done. Sorry, we're going through these fairly quickly, but we've got this set up on an automatic thing where it just moves forward. But this is huge. We really do want to acknowledge all of you for your incredible accomplishments.
Absolutely, and particularly with the auto ship all-stars as well, it really signifies those associates who are building great stability in their organisation. And everybody, quite frankly, from week 13 to 16 or all of this year, to be honest, you're all doing an amazing job moving your business forward. You're obviously looking forward, looking up, and you're doing whatever it takes to help people and make a difference, because we know how much difference ASEA makes in the world and to the health of people. So congratulations again to all of you for these rank advancements. To recognise Fast Forward as well. These are associates who over a 14-day period can do a Fast Forward where it's for new enrolments of associates and preferred customers with 800 promo points. And here are the amazing associates who did this in week 16. Well, actually, it should be for the last month. It's $610 in cash and products. That's Australian dollars. I believe it's $405 US, but you get sample tubes, the 100 ASEA loyalty reward points, which is the equivalent to a case of product, which is huge. And that's by enrolling in the auto ship program, and this fast start bonus. So well done to all these associates.
Over $600 in cash and product.
Yeah, sorry, cash and product. Yeah.
So.
And then Fast Forward Plus as well. It is similar, but it's 8 new enrolments of associates and preferred customers and 1,200 promo points. All the information on Fast Forward and Fast Forward Plus is in your ASEA virtual office in your library there as well. And congratulations to these amazing associates who managed to do a Fast Forward Plus.
Fast Forward Plus is a big deal. That's a big deal. It's a massive achievement. And you know what else? I love the Fast Forward and Fast Forward Plus because it helps to focus on creating momentum in your business. And I tell you what, network marketing loves speed. So the speed of the leader determines the rate of the pack. I love that phrase because it is true. And when you create that momentum, people will follow what you do. It creates excitement. So well done, you guys.
In the US, it's $745 in cash and products. So it's still really substantial. So congratulations. Now we're so excited because we have some very special guest speakers. I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Dick and Nancy Walker. So Dr. Dick is double board certified in emergency room medicine. He also has a master's in preventative medicine and nutrition. And they're an amazing duo in terms of being entrepreneurial. Nancy has a dental hygiene background. They also helped to pioneer the Suri alpaca industry, which they were both involved in for 14 years, which is a big deal. They're amazing animals. They had a lot of fun. And I know through a few financial setbacks, they needed to look at a plan that would supplement their retirement income. So that's when they discovered ASEA, but they have been in our profession for many years. So I'll just stop the screen sharing and let them talk about their story. And I know you had a few questions for them. So welcome, Dr. Dick and Nancy. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much, Melissa and Bart. And you're such dear friends to us, and we're so honored to be on the call. Wow. So I guess, well, I'll start as long as I've already started.
Yeah.
We were introduced to ASEA about 8 years ago, and we had completely different perspectives, which is often true when you have a couple. One person sees one thing, the other person sees another. And I was only interested in my health. I had a health challenge for 35 years. I was I hurt from head to toe. I was really stiff and sore. My spine was so stiff. I really couldn't move my head without a lot of pain. My spine would burn. I fell asleep all the time. I slept 10 hours at night and I was still tired. My mind was foggy. I couldn't get organized. That's what my life was like for as far back as I can remember. And I tried a lot of alternative things because although I'm married to a doctor, I don't like to take medication. So I tried a lot of things. They helped a little bit, but then Jerry White introduced us to ASEA. And I thought, if he says it's safe, and Dick checked it out and he said it was safe, so I was game to try it. And after a couple of weeks, all of my mental fogginess and feelings of overwhelm disappeared. It took another probably 6 months for my joint and muscle discomfort to go away. But I have a whole new life, a whole new body, and a whole new outlook, and a whole new life. And that's been, and it stayed for 8 years. That's how come I know it's real. So over time, if I can just say this, over time, perspectives change. And what I thought, you know, when you're not well, you're just interested in what can this do for me and my well-being and to make me feel better. But now I feel better. And now my perspective has changed. And we're retired now. I mean, we both worked. I've had a job. I've had a business. I've had several businesses, brick and mortar business, online business, retail business. And we worked our tails off. You know, we worked all the time. We raised 4 children, educated them, took care of Dick's mom. And I thought, you know, the last thing I want is another business. I mean, please, can I be done? This is what I was thinking when I didn't feel well. But now I'm so glad that Dick had the foresight to plan for our future, because now he's retired. I closed my store. And if we did not have ASEA, our life would be way different. We would have had to downsize our life. As much as we tried to save money over a lifetime, and Dick had a high-paying job, and I worked and had a good income as well, but it's really hard to save enough money to live the way you want to live for the rest of your life. And now we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to downsize our life. I'm just really grateful. And it's not really only about me, because at this age, I want to do something meaningful. And I feel like ASEA has allowed me to do that. I want to make a mark in this world and make this world a better place because I was here. And that, the older I get, the more that has become important to me. And I feel like Vertus Norton gave us all the road map to leaving a legacy. And, you know, I'll always be grateful for that.
Yeah. No,
you do make a big difference,
Yeah.
Nancy. You're one of my all-time favorites in ASEA. You really are. You're such a special lady, and we're so fortunate we get to catch up with both of you at the Diamond Summits and be able to hear your stories and your journey and the difference that you make. And I'm so excited that you shared your story with us, because it is really important, and a lot of people can relate to your background. And you're absolutely right. The more we stay with ASEA, the more our ASEA-wide develops and deepens and becomes more of a cause in its nature. So yeah, you're amazing. You are one of my all-time favorites, and I hope everyone on the webinar gets to give you a hug one day when we can do that again.
I know, right? Well, back at you, and I appreciate you letting us talk on your call. We love being on it. So thanks for here.
It's great to have you back. And it was, Melissa mentioned your alpaca business. You had created some absolutely stunning things.
Yeah.
Your products and things that you did before, just amazing. And I know that, like all of us, life has kind of thrown you guys in the past some curveballs too. And so even when you got things going, sometimes life doesn't go exactly the way that you planned it. And speaking of life not going exactly the way you planned it, Dick, I just want to say thanks for jumping on the call. You've decided, maybe you decided to be have a product experience and just share with us how these products work so well. I
wish I had a better story.
Sacrifice their body to validate these products. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of my injuries in the past have been doing something crazy like falling off a mountain. This one, I just fell in my backyard when I tripped over a sprinkler head. But yeah, it's, I'm going to tattle on Nancy a little bit though, just to make our story even more typical, because our story isn't that unusual in ASEA. But we were introduced to ASEA about 6 months before that, when Denny Robinson gave Nancy a case of ASEA, which sat about 4 feet from where I am right now on the floor, and barely got opened. And we didn't pay any attention to it. Nancy said, "Boy, it smells like chlorine. I don't think I could ever drink that." I took one whiff and said, "Yeah, it smells a little bit like chlorine." I took a couple swigs and said, "Doesn't taste that bad. What's it supposed to do?" And Nancy said, "I don't know." And so we never did anything until, 6 months later or so, when Jerry started talking about how great the business was. And that really caught my attention, because I realized I was working way too hard. And I knew I couldn't keep up that pace, but I also knew I had to, we all have a nut to crack financially, and we had a pretty big nut to crack. And I knew I was going to have to keep working for a long time at those crazy hours. And so and I was, like you say, I was familiar with the industry. I knew that this business model was an incredible one. If we could find the right company and the right product, and this sure sounded like that. And so it was probably a week later when we went together to a fly-in and met Bertus, and that was an incredible experience. And this is the technology, I think, that I've been looking for a long time. I just didn't know what it was going to be. But for a long time, I realized that we needed a better natural product. Antioxidants had run their course. We were doing about as much as we could with those, and we just needed some sort of biological breakthrough that we could really offer to people to really improve their health in a substantial way. And when I saw little references to this in some of my literature, but everything implied that I was going to be long dead before we had a redox signaling product, because it was so new in the cycle, in the scientific cycle, and in the research and development cycle. And quite frankly, when I realized that case of stuff that had been sitting on my office floor 6 months ago was actually a redox signaling product, I thought, wow, I wish I'd known that 6 months ago. So I took that seriously and started looking into it, and realized this really was a big deal. And it amazed me that so few people knew about it. And I knew that, even a internal medicine ER doc from Spokane, Washington, ought to be able to make a lot of money promoting something like this because of what I knew it could do. And so that's when I decided to jump in and, find a minute here, a minute there. My story business-wise is a little bit like Debbie Wessler. She was working, hours in the restaurant business. It's just that I was making more money per hour than she was, but neither of us had any extra time. So I started, making a call here and there. And then I realized pretty quickly that it's a teamwork thing. And so I would pique interest in somebody, and then I'd turn them over to Jerry White and Denny and the team. And next thing I knew, I had to learn about this thing called the smart wallet, because I couldn't figure out how to get my money out. And so I said, "Nancy, can you figure out how this smart wallet thing works? Because there's a bunch of money sitting in there and I don't even know how to get at it." And so, it was a learning curve about all that kind of stuff, and it was fun. And we started to get all these product experiences that people were having. And then we started to get people thanking us for the money that they were making. And I thought, this is exactly the way this business model is supposed to work. And boy, am I thankful we found a company that it works with. And of course, I just love Bertus. Every chance we got to sit down with Bertus and chat with him and get to know the other people at corporate. I mean, it's just been almost like a Cinderella story, It's been, there's been no negatives, and pretty much an all great, a great journey. And I can't recommend it more to everybody else. And we're, even though we're 10 years into this, we're still getting started. I was on our team call Monday, and I said, think about where we're going to be, you know, I don't know if we'll still be here, but where are we going to be 10, 15, 20 years from now? When people want a redox signaling product, you know, nowadays if you need a facial tissue or something to blow your nose on, you just say, give me a Kleenex, you know. And someday it's going to be like that with ASEA. You know, there's going to be other products, there's going to be other companies, this is going to be a huge industry, but people are going to still say, where's my ASEA? And so we just have, I mean, this is just really incredible. And so I'm just looking forward to seeing how far we can run with this. And then that's not to mention the friendships and you know, both on our team and cross teams. And, you know, it's just a phenomenal industry to get to know people and really establish relationships at a really significant depth very quickly because of the types of people that are attracted to this. So.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that really I just find so impressive, there's not very many doctors that really have the background that you have in nutrition and preventative health as well. I think it's an amazing combination that you know, most doctors leave that part out. You know, it's just the pharmaceutical side of things. So since you've really grasped the concept of this, I guess I'd like to just to speak how profound the breakthrough is, the technology is. And you had mentioned something else, which was the kind of the canary in the coal mine sort of aspect, particularly with everything that's going on in the world right now, the awareness toward health.
Absolutely. You know, it's most people vastly underestimate our body's ability to do amazing things and to repair even from amazing problems. And science is really starting to catch up with that and starting to describe how our cells can actually, the phenomenal job they can do to fix and repair. And it's all basic biology and biochemistry, and it doesn't take, you don't have to be a rocket science to understand it, although we had to find a medical atomic physicist to figure out how to stabilize this new form of technology. But it's foundational. I mean, our bodies have evolved over the eons to be self-repairing, self-correcting mechanisms if we just give it everything that they need. And this whole cellular communication thing was a huge missing piece. That it just amazes me how long it took science to tumble to the fact that, you know, communication was a major part of what we needed to do to be sure that our bodies were able to do what they needed to do. And, you know, I was interested in nutrition and all that other stuff just because I grew up in a household where prevention and, you know, it was a matriarchal thing. My mom was just really big on all things preventive and nutritional. So that sort of rubbed off on me. And when I got into medical school, I was actually naive enough to be surprised that they weren't teaching me that kind of stuff. So I started to look around to find out where I could get that knowledge. And then it was a rude awakening when I got out of medical school and realized nobody's going to pay me for that. And really the only way that somebody like me can capitalize on what I know about nutrition and how it affects the body and things like ASEA is network marketing, because the whole medical system is not set up for what we have. They're set up for disease and drugs and surgery, and so the whole system is perfectly designed for somebody like me and other medical professionals who are more interested in helping people fix themselves than they are in the whole disease model. So it was a natural fit for me, and I've got kind of an eclectic background, but it is what it is. And you know, I'm an interesting dichotomy because I'm an ER doc who loves to work on prevention and natural stuff, and yet I'm a mountain climber who doesn't mind taking pretty significant risks with his life and his health, just because it's there, and I enjoy doing that sort of thing. And luckily,
and the sprinkler got you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, one thing that is often left out is that Dick is a wilderness medicine doctor too, and that's how he came to be the expedition doctor on expeditions to Antarctica, to Mount Everest, to peak in South America, and so I think your connection with nature is what makes this a perfect fit, because this is the natural way that our bodies heal themselves.
Yeah, and that also put me around natural healers in different societies and doctors from all over the world, and so yeah, everybody's life and health is like one of those million-piece jigsaw puzzles. There's all these different parts that fit together, and if you're missing some of them, it's just not complete. And ASEA has become a big part of that for Nancy and I, for what we do. I mean, we're very committed to what we do, very committed to helping people with this. And the whole canary in the coal mine thing is a very interesting concept, because, this whole coronavirus COVID thing has been a huge canary in the coal mine for many people who really didn't pay much attention to their health until they realized that this could take it away from them. And
Is that our internet?
Snap in a minute and take it away from them. As an ER doc, I don't think a shift went by that I wasn't taking care of a couple of people with serious problems who, if I had talked to them the day before, they'd have said, "I'm fine, doc. I don't need you. Everything's cool. I don't have any problems." And yet they obviously had a serious problem, because they're laying in front of me having a heart attack. And I'm saying, "Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, but you're having a heart attack, and we're going to need to do some things about that." Because our bodies have an amazing ability to adapt up to a certain point, and then all of a sudden they can't. And ASEA can really extend that hugely and be there to help bail you out if you haven't been paying attention to it. But fortunately, this is a great opportunity to reach out to people, because they're more aware that they could lose their health, and it would have and they didn't have any part of it. All of a sudden, they just caught this thing, and now they're in big trouble. And so, getting them to pay attention to wellness and maximize their wellness, and be able to do that, help others, and to make a living from home without having to go fight the traffic and go to that job. Why the heck would you want one of those when you could stay at home, help people, and make money, and empower your own health at the same time? I mean, it's a great package.
Yeah, it is. Gosh, I still remember what Verta said when I went to that fly-in. He said, if people really knew what we had our hands on, he said, we'd be bigger than Apple Computer overnight. And it's just, if we could really say what we know, right? And get that out to the public. But that canary in the coal mine, I thought, was a brilliant analogy. It really just shows how important it is. And particularly, it's just, the combination is, I doubt there's very many universities that even offer a master's in prevention. So that's a very unique background that you bring to the table.
Well, that's an interesting story too, because when they gave me my degree, they wanted to know what I wanted to call it.
Oh my goodness.
Because I had taken a course here and a course there, and I made sure I got enough, I got enough statistics and that kind of stuff that I qualified for a degree. And I said, well, have you ever given one in preventive medicine before? And they said no. And I said, well, that'd be why don't we call it that? So.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
You two are pioneers.
That's right.
Really are.
Inventing the wheel. That's beautiful.
I've got to say just quickly, you're faster learners than we are, because somebody had sent us a case of ASEA, and I took a sip, and I was going through let's say an angry phase in my life at that point. And I said to Bart, if I want more of that, I'll just go dip my glass into the swimming pool. And it sat on the shelf for a year. So you're faster. Oh yeah, I was not open.
He was very opinionated about it.
What's that?
Yeah. We took that first case back to Tom's office. And I finally got sick and tired of bumping, tripping over it, and said, why don't we just take this back to Robinson's? Because we're obviously not going to do anything with it. And then 6 months later, I did a deep dive into this thing and was building a business around it. So you just never know. Timing and opportunity have to kind of have to cross at the same time for this to work for a lot of people. And we were rotten apples to begin with, and then I decided I was a red apple, and the next thing we were on our way to diamond, and just having heck of a good time doing it. So if
That's
anybody that's listening is at all remotely interested in adding some fun and excitement and money and health and all those things mixed together, this is a great opportunity to do that.
Speaking of red apples, gosh, we're definitely in the same place. We were prospected, and it was a matter of, by a number of people, it was a matter of timing and also the right partnership. And so we're grateful that the Ed came around. But it was a matter of timing for us as well. You know, you mentioned that you were a rotten apple, kind of moved to the place of being a red apple. I know that you've got kind of a passion in helping to get people started. You've kind of come up with some things. Did you want to talk about that a little bit? I don't know if you had anything that you want to do in terms of a screen share, but or if you just want to talk about what you're doing to get people started.
You know, I go through a little thing with people. I did it on a charge up call this morning, and it's mostly just letting people know that an ASEA business is just like life. I mean, there's going to be ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster, and most important part to remember when you're at the bottom of the hill and you see that great big incline and you just came down, had an exhilarating ride after you sponsored a couple of people. Maybe you went D300 or D700. Now all of a sudden you're at the bottom of the hill and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to get back up there. You know, what I remember is that I was never able to get to the top of a mountain without first taking that number one step at the bottom. And you know, you got to put one foot in front of the other, and next thing you know, you're halfway up, and you know, then you're bronze, you know, and then you're looking at the next goal is the EMP pool. So it's really one step at a time, and understanding that there's going to be ups and downs, but it's your why and it's your reason for doing this that keeps you focused. You know, I never could really come up with why I climb mountains other than I wanted to get to the top, but that always worked out pretty well for me. So why do you want to do ASEA? Because, you know, you want to get to the top and you want to help people. And, you know, that for me, the money was a side benefit. It was never really the primary thing. I enjoyed it very much, and I enjoyed the time freedom it gave me, but it was really, you know, being successful and conquering this thing. And taking a bunch of other people along for the ride. You know, people get excited about these people who solo climb a mountain. And I thought, wow, that misses about 3/4 of the reason to go climb a mountain, which is to go do it with somebody else and have an experience and develop the relationships and, you know, do things with somebody that, you know, that might take a lifetime of effort to develop a friendship, and here you can do it in a couple of months, you know, out kicking around in the wilderness and climbing a hill. So you can do that in ASEA. I think that's why our friendships in ASEA can be so profound, because, you know, we're doing it together with common goals in mind. And, you know, it's not always easy. It's not always easy to get up and make those telephone calls when you'd rather do something else in the morning. Go ahead.
I like what Dick he arms our new people with the information that you can't convince someone that they want to do this. If they are rotten apples or saying no because of the timing or other issues, you can't convince them to be a red apple. And all you're doing is sifting and sorting. You're going into an orchard or going out amongst your community and looking for people who want what we have, looking for an opportunity or for better health. You can't convince someone that that they should want this. And so don't waste your time with people who say no. Just keep revisiting it, like what happened for us and for you. They say no the first time, then ask permission to keep in touch with them, and maybe the timing will be right. But you don't sit there and camp out and hope that they change their mind or try to convince them to change their mind, because there's lots of people who want what we have. So you just get out and go and sift and sort and find the people who are looking for what we have.
Yeah, I probably have more conversations with team members that go something like, why are you continuing to bug that person? Why don't you leave them alone? What they've told you is they're not interested right now. And just respect them for that, because nobody wants to be the person at the Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas party in a family gathering who everybody shuns because they're afraid you're going to start talking about something again. You know, just give people the opportunity and then give them the dignity of accepting their answer, because guess what? You know, we all have our rotten apple stories. My brother is a perfect example. I've been talking to him casually about ASEA for over 7 years, but he had to break his hip and run into complications before I could talk him into taking the ASEA. Now he's been on it for 6 months and he renewed his auto ship. Hasn't said a word to me about why he likes it or does he like it or whatever, but you know, he's paying for it and he renewed. And so I figured he must be getting some benefit from it, and that's good enough for me.
You know, you just gave me a little bit of an aha though. We've often talked about the roller coaster ride. And like I said, life is an emotional roller coaster ride, particularly in network marketing, because you have your highs and your lows, and we have all these expectations or this fear of rejection and everything that comes with it. But for me, I just kind of got a little bit of an aha when you talked about the comparison of climbing a mountain, because when you climb a mountain, you don't decide that you're going to just try to climb the mountain. You make the decision you're going to climb it, unless there's some, you know, maybe Mount Everest and the big storm comes up that kicks you back, but you've made the decision to climb the mountain, and you pack and you prepare and you make that. And so when you get the long-term perspective, you know that you're going to have some highs and lows. You know that you're going to, you know, maybe get a blister here or there. But you just make the decision and you go for it. And so I don't know. I just thought that was a great analogy that you just gave us, particularly from your background with mountain climbing. But
yeah, making that decision is really the important part, and then understanding why you made that decision. You know, when I sit down with a new associate, talk about their why, it's not just, well, why do you want to do this? It's, well, really, why do you want to do this? I mean, what are you going to get out of it? How are you going to feel? And how are you going to feel if you don't accomplish this? And so how important is it to you? And we would have the same conversations with team members when we were going to go climb a mountain. I mean, how dedicated are you? The only thing more important than the summit is coming home alive, but everything else is secondary, you know? And if it's that important to you, then we want you on the team. But if something else is going to come up or whatever, then maybe we don't want you on the team. And so once you make that decision and then you take that first step, then you're on a journey, you know, and the journey can take twists and turns. The journey can take, you may not summit the first time you try that mountain. You may have to come back, you know, a year later or 2 years later or whatever. The permit might get canceled or something might happen. But if you've decided that that's going to be something you're going to do, then, you know, you're going to do it. And come heck or high water, that's something that's going to get done. And so you want to look for people that can make commitments like that. And those are going to be your leaders. Those are going to be the people that are going to stick with you come heck or high water, and you're going to have a wonderful time. And the ASEA is going to be there. The other huge advantage that we have with the ASEA, because I haven't done a whole bunch of network marketing companies, but you hear horror stories all the time of people who put out effort, they work their hearts out, and then the company does something stupid. You never have to worry about that with ASEA. ASEA has your back, and they always will, and you know, you can depend on that. You don't have to worry about that, and that's something that's a very important thing for people who are like us, who are committed our life, our business life to this company and to this product and technology. You don't have to worry about ASEA. I've really never seen them make a major misstep. Yeah, they might make a goof up here, a goof up there. It's never been substantial. And it's great to be working with a company like that. And we have Bertus and Tyler to thank for that. And then the whole team that they put together. You know, they knew that Bertus knew he was climbing a big mountain here by not selling this out to some drug company, by, you know, taking the bull by the horns and deciding to commercialize this incredible technology. I mean, I'm sure you've had people say, well, if this is so great, you know, why are you selling it through network marketing? Why didn't you do this or that? Why didn't you sell it to a big pharmaceutical company or whatever, you know? And, you know, it's like, well, you don't understand, but here's why. Because it's too good for them. It's too important for them. And Bertus put this company on a path that's going to make it happen over a period of time. Bertus knew this wasn't a sprint, that it was a marathon, and he put together a company for a marathon. And we've seen that, you know, time after time, we've seen that evident in the decisions that ASEA has made.
Wow, too good for them. Coming from a doctor, that's a pretty big statement.
Yes. I just wanted to ask a final question of you both. There'll be some people on a webinar today who they haven't met Virtus, they haven't had that opportunity. And when it comes to knowing that they have your back, and with what you just shared, Dick, I'd love for you to share from both your perspectives when you met Virtus, what he's like and how you felt and that type of thing.
He was like a little bit like a father figure.
He was, in my eyes, he was a quiet giant. In many ways, a mental giant, strategic giant, but also sensitive enough to talk with somebody like me who doesn't have a business mind. And, you know, ASEA and Virtus has asked all of us for our commitment, like Dick is talking about, they do with their team members that climb mountains. He's asked us for a commitment because they've made that commitment to all of us. And you can only ask for a commitment if you're willing to make that yourself. And I recognized that early on. And that put me at ease because he is just a man of integrity. And
yeah, you always, when you talk to Bertus, you always just knew that he knew what he was talking about, and that he meant what he said. And you just never had to worry about it. And he never really got too excited about things, which is a little bit like me. You know, as an ER doc, you don't want to be an overly excitable kind of a person. You want to be able to take, you know, steel rods sticking out of somebody's head in stride and not get too scared. Like, what am I going to do next? But Bertus was just a calm, very competent, confident. And he just knew he knew where he was going. He knew where he was headed. He always had the long-term vision, but he always had the short-term stuff covered as well. And you knew that the kind of person he was, that he was able to put together just an incredible team. And that if he brought them on, they were good people. It was kind of like, if I was going to go climb a mountain, I was either going to be the team leader, or there were only very few people that I would go make a commitment like that with, because you wanted to know the kind of person that you were doing those things with. And Bertus was just a rock solid guy, and he put together a team of people that are just like that. I mean, Chuck and Jerem and, you know, and Karen, you know, everybody there is just definitely the kind of people that you want to have your back and to be doing the work, the hard work that the company does to make sure that we can move forward and build businesses around this.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your perspective and for joining us today, particularly injuries and everything. And I think it's really important for people to really understand more about Virtus and your mountaineering. I know you both do a lot of adventures and expeditions together. You married a shiny red apple, Dick. That helps. and I just feel truly, really a great honor and so blessed that you were able to join us. And I know, Dick, particularly final words in terms of letting people know the impact of the quote that you say, where you say, we'll look back on this decade and people will see it as the beginning of molecular medicine. And I hope now with you both sharing, people can understand why you have such certainty around that, given your background, both of your backgrounds in terms of what you've done in business together as well. And thank you again from the bottom of our hearts for sharing with us today and joining us. So,
yeah, definitely. Thanks for joining us.
Great to see you both.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I know we miss you guys.
Thanks for inviting us. We'll have to make a trip across that little pond called the Pacific Ocean one of these days and visit you.
Atlantic.
Yes, we would love that. So enjoy the rest of your day and thank you
you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Melissa. Happy birthday, Bart.
Yeah, hey, I've got 15 years on you, so you got some catching up to do.
Yes. Do you look good?
Yeah, time's a funny thing. It's flying by.
It is.
All right.
Thank you so much again. Catch up
Yeah.
soon. Bye.
Bye.
Just wanted to quickly transition over to Mal's sword too, because I know he wanted to say a few words. And Dan, do you want to do Mal?
Oh, yeah.
So Mal was going to come on. I think he's still
Are you there with us, Mal?
And we've got Dan that might say a few words as well. So
Yeah.
there he is.
So, hey, Mal, thanks for joining us on the call
Mal.
today. We wanted to, I know that we had a little bit of a chat, and you are pretty passionate about the timing right now where people are at and how to really give people a little bit of hope and vision and maximize this timing to help ourselves and help a lot of other people too. So you're muted.
I'm unmuted.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm outside because I've got painters inside the house, so I'm outside. So if I look like I'm shivering, I am. It's really cold. Good morning, everyone. Firstly, happy birthday, Bart. Happy 57th birthday. I hope it's a special day and a special year for you. So congratulations. There's a great old saying, I don't know if you've heard this, that life's a little bit like a roll of toilet paper. The closer you get to the end, the faster it goes. And it kind of happens like that. It just seems the years seem to go so quickly. I'll be brief. Let me just speak to the current situation. And for those of us that have been in the industry for a long, long time, always in period of economic downturn, our industry explodes. And the network marketing industry wasn't around in the Great Depression of the late 20s, 1930s. And so we never saw how it responded during that or post that period. But in all of the experience that I've had, the growth that we're going to see in the industry, I'm not just talking ASEA specifically here, I'm talking about the industry generally. The growth that I think we'll see within the next 3 months to 3 years will be the largest growth in our numbers that we've ever seen in the history of the industry, and there's reasons for that. And that is that when things go pear-shaped, when people struggle, and financially as post-COVID they will, sadly a lot of people, their businesses will be affected, their jobs won't be there, or they'll be there in an altered state, that it forces people into the looking zone. And we have a solution for that. We have a solution that's not capital-based. We have a solution that will allow people to come to our industry, not necessarily to hit the highest ranks, but there's going to be a lot of people there that are looking to bridge an income gap, whether it's for $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month or $5,000 a month. And we have the most incredible solution here. We have the most incredible opportunity with ASEA. I watch people, if I can say the herd, the mentality of the herd. And we watched, didn't we, that, when the COVID crisis first came, people generally go down their rabbit holes and they look for safety and they kind of do nothing. When people are confused, they do nothing. But that won't last. The cavalry's not coming for people. People will soon realize that if they're going to make some changes, they're going to have to make those changes for themselves. And I think we're already starting to see that happen. But I'm super excited about the future of the industry, but more specifically the future of ASEA. For those of us that have been in the industry a long time, and if you're new to the industry, new to the business, if you're looking at this, you're at the right place at the right time with the right group of people. We heard, Nancy and Dr. Dick talk about Virtus. I have the same level of respect for him and the leadership of this company. We're in a very unique place. We won't see this ever again. And I think the next 3 to 5 years with ASEA is going to be, I think this is the journey that will be going to take this company to $1 billion. That's kind of how I feel about the timing. So the perfect time for everybody. So there's a great old saying. What's the saying? Rising tide lifts all ships, provided somebody's at the helm. You've got to do something. You've got to do something with it. So just don't sit there and watch everybody else rise on the tide. Be at the helm of your own ship and watch this tide lift. I think the future for this industry is just incredible, as it should be. It's perfect opportunity, perfect timing. So just wanted to share a few thoughts with you. Can't wait to get back inside. I'm really shivering out here.
Us Queenslanders, we're pathetic when it comes to one cold day.
I know. It's so, God, just kind of came in the last 24 hours. But anyway, thank you for letting me share. And thank you, Dr. Dick and Nancy. They were amongst the first speakers. I remember in April 2016, just after I got started, they came over and they filled a room. I was just super impressed with them that time, and were really instrumental in helping my business get going. So thank you to both of you for sharing again this morning, and thank you for the invitation to come back over the pond as soon as those planes are back in the air. We hope we see you back here again. So thank you for sharing this morning with us as well.
I don't think I've ever seen a room filled so tight in my life. That room was packed to capacity. It's surprising the fire department didn't come and tell us to.
I know it probably wasn't. It probably wasn't fire legal, but we made it happen anyway. So it was great. So thanks for sharing, and
thank you, Mel.
Yeah,
happy birthday. And next time you go back to Alaska, count me in. I'd love to go there. I've never been there, so I'd love to go back with you.
Until Bart gets his knees worked on, you're safe, Mel. You'll be able to outrun him.
Good. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for letting me share. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. And I was just going to mention, in terms of the, I love the being at the helm of your ship, as the tide comes in. That's so true. I think as leaders right now, and obviously this is a leadership training, we've got an opportunity here. We can either be stuck in a place of fear, or we can really give people hope. And I think that if we really focus on the hope, what we have to offer people, we really can throw people a lifeline, physically and financially, in so many different ways. And so anyway, thanks for coming on and sharing those messages with us, Mal. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mal. Hope that's not our internet.
Danny, are you there?
Not sure if Danny's in a, there he is. Oh,
Hey,
you're on the Wanna Beach. We're allowed at the beach, you're not, right? We're still allowed at the beach, Dan.
Hey, Bart, happy birthday. You're going to have a great day, obviously, because that lovely lady next to you.
Yeah, we're going to go. We're going to go on a Harley ride today.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I was just thinking about that trip up north, and if Mel and I were there with you, and even if you could run faster than us, the bear would be chasing you for the better feed.
Yeah.
We need to organize that, and you need to come on that fishing trip with us too.
Yeah, no, it sounds really good.
It just has to be good people over, that's all.
Yeah.
Mal took the words out of my mouth. I think we're in an incredible place, but in times like this, I go back to the conversation that Tyler had with Virtus, the father and son conversation, and the question that Tyler asked Virtus, and the answer from Virtus was just think, THINK. And there's people sitting around thinking, of what they should be doing or doing nothing. But I can tell you now, this is the time that I think what it's going to take to keep moving our business forward. You've got to really think out of the box a little bit with the situation we're in, and take advantage of, not of people, but of the opportunity that we have. And we do have a massive opportunity. So for me, taking it right back to basics and reaching out to people that and just starting a conversation with them. Just reach out. Just keep reaching out. You've got a whole heap of people that in your phone, your family, your friends. Talk to them. I mean, don't be scared of reaching out and thinking you're going to go sell something to them. Just say hello and start a conversation. You never know where that conversation's going to lead to. So bring it back to basics, guys. Don't sit on your hands doing nothing and thinking about what you should be doing. Be strategic. Think of what you need to do now to get to where Mal's talking to, because if you're building your business now, I believe the same thing. This business is absolutely going to go bonkers over the next few years. So build that stable foundation and get your business to the point where you can collect and leverage all that momentum that we're going to come into. And big thank you to Nancy and Dick. Really appreciate you coming on. Love listening to you guys. I could listen to you guys all day, every day. Ed, thanks for putting your 2 bobs worth in and showing us the history with Bart. It was a great little journey that you took us on. And hey, Richard, Great to see you here. So thanks, guys. Thanks for the call again. And to be honest with you, I'm really excited about where we are in the future. Really, really excited.
Well,
Excellent.
It's always great to hear from you, Dan, and please give our love to Suzanne. I know your insights when it comes to your belief. You're a long-term thinker like Virtus, so you think big. Mal does the same thing. So I know with what you both see for the ASEA future and how you recognize the roller coaster ride right now and what's ahead, should people choose to jump on that ride, it's better than words can describe. So thank you.
Yeah, this is massive. We're in the best. We're in the box seat here. So just people on our call, our team need to think that way and take advantage of what we've got. Thanks, guys.
Definitely. Thanks, Dan. We've just got a little dog out, but thanks for joining us. I just wanted to quickly go back to the PowerPoint. I'm hoping our internet's going to be good. We've got a little message to share, an inspirational message when it comes to the theme of the webinar this particular month. And I am hoping someone, maybe Sharon can text me if the internet plays up a little bit. But this is a short 4-minute video from the movie, The Greatest Showman. If you haven't had a chance to see it, it's an absolutely brilliant movie with the Australian actor Hugh Jackman and a lot of other amazing actors. But it is a moment when you watch this, it is the coming out of Keala Settle. So we'll have some messages for you after this video.
Some really important, cool message to this.
Hey, that's the first time I've been able to watch that and not cry. Yeah. So with what you've heard from Dr. Dick and Nancy and Mal and Dan, and yes, this is me with a dog on the webinar. And we just wanted to, you know, it takes, no matter what's going on in your life right now, it does take courage to step out. And maybe it's time to have a look at the music stand you're standing behind. Maybe because of what we've all been going through with being homebound, and a lot of people, as Dan said, and Mal, you know, they're not in the same position that they were in a few months ago. So it's time to step out. This is your moment. And with what Dick and Nancy mentioned too, Virtus is there to hold our hand. This company has our back. And with Keala Settle, interestingly enough, she hadn't secured this role until that moment, that video. They knew that this was her song. She was going to star in the movie, and she was scared. And Hugh Jackman was there to hold her hand because she really wanted it, but was just petrified. And some people feel like that, particularly stepping into this business model and talking to other people about ASEA. But the applause is waiting for each and every one of you. And it's not to say that everyone needs an applause, because some people, that doesn't rate for them, but the applause is deafening when you can step out into your power, when you can re-emerge out of this situation that's been going on and be all of who you are, because we don't know a safer home, literally, than ASEA. We just don't. And the more you get into ASEA and the more that you experience the people, and as Dick was saying, we're all climbing this mountain together, and it is such a safe home. There's ropes that will fall you if will catch you if you fall. We all stumble. I mean, not all of us over sprinklers, but we stumble in different ways in our lives. And I think it's a matter of realizing that each and every one of you on the webinar, you're all glorious beyond measure, and you all have your voice, and it absolutely needs to be heard. But as Dick said, you've got to take that first step. You've got to get out from behind that music stand, and everyone in ASEA will be there to support you. It's just a matter of not letting anything stop you, not letting anyone's words cut you down or hold you back. You get to walk to the beat of your own drum with ASEA. And we've experienced that, those of us who've been in ASEA for a little while, we've been so fortunate to experience that. And this is I'll just go back to sharing the screen for a second, because this is a quote that Tyler shared with us at a Diamond Summit in Ireland. Let me just go to the next slide here. And it's so true. This is the bearded lady. This is Keala Settle in the movie, if you haven't seen it. When you come to ASEA, leave the trash behind on what you think you are or are not. come here with the knowledge and belief that you can do anything, because this is in fact the truth. And that is so true. And we're excited for you who are on this webinar for the first time today to experience this. And this was part of one of the most profound talks that we've ever heard Tyler Norton give. So yeah, we can't wait to celebrate who you are. You just need to be you. And we're so thrilled and honored that ASEA, to be a part of ASEA, and that ASEA has each and every one of you to help with this mission and their journey. So that's me.
It's a great message.
This is me. Okay, so
I love that song. We've been playing that. It's just
we have actually.
Great way to even start your day, to just realize just be you, and you're made perfect. Just go out there and go for it. Just realize your dreams. It is about stepping up.
It is. And another quick aside, the two young kids, there was one gentleman at the piano, you may or may not have seen him in the background of that movie. He was asked by the directors, because they had difficulty getting this movie funded, and it was basically coming down to the wire, and they needed funding, they needed a hit song. And so the producer said to these two young kids in their 20s, early 30s maybe, that they had until the next morning to come up with a hit song. And the only challenge was they were about to jump on an aeroplane. So there's a photo of them on the aeroplane. They've got their laptops out. They created this song literally on their flight to wherever they were going. And it turned into the theme song for the movie.
In fact, didn't they say, when is this song? When do you need this song? We need it tomorrow.
All things are possible with a deadline and a goal.
And a vision. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so they manifested this. Do you mind if I just say something on this?
Of course, yeah.
There is really, well, actually, no, the next slide, the tools.
Oh, the tools.
Yeah. So I know Melissa's going to give you an update on the tools, but I just want to tell you, I am so proud of what she's put together with this, the hundreds, probably thousands of hours at this point in time. It's you couldn't even conceive of what she's gone through with the editing process and the complications. But I can tell you that that this is something that is we know it's going to make a phenomenal difference in our business. There's been a huge gap that we've noticed for a long time, quite frankly, from the first day that we got in, of getting people started and then helping them to really move their business forward. One talent, one skill that Melissa brings to the table is she really thinks, what's the word I'm looking for? She really sees the big vision, the big picture on systems and tools and how to help move people forward. So there's lots of great things. There's huge amounts of information and videos and so forth. Well, Melissa is taken a whole lot of different systems. She's pulled it all together and created a very comprehensive system on taking your business right from the very beginning to introducing someone with a live-it guide that goes over the products to really how to build, exactly what the numbers are, what you need to do to build your business to triple diamond and beyond. So, right, to take it all the way. So
thanks, Bart. And I know I've been teasing you for months. It's been a learning process. The writing of the system was the easy part. So it's been rewarding and wonderful. We are officially launching it. We've got enough lead time now to get we created over 30 videos for the website so that you can have it all broken down, easy to understand. And so we're getting it all completed, but Saturday, May 16th at 8 a.m. Eastern time is when we'll officially launch the system with everything in place. So thank you for all of you for your patience. Nobody's been wanting to use this more than us right now. So we just wanted to say thanks, and we'll get the word out about this.
It's a huge investment in not only time, but we'll have well over 30,000 invested just in the development. So
so worth it.
It's an investment into you.
It is. We don't have long now. There's just a few slides to run through, but just want to make sure that everybody has the Kickstart Your Fast Start on their radar because it is a limited time offer that ASEA has put out there. It ends on the 15th of May for Australia, New Zealand, and the 8th of May for USA, Canada, Mexico. It's also run through Europe as well. Just don't have the details on these slides. So pretty much in terms of a summary, if you enroll an associate, or if an associate enrolls between 200 to 399 PV, there's free shipping, and it correlates to the following savings in Australian dollars, New Zealand dollars, and US dollars, which is fabulous. We all love to save money, particularly now. 400 PV points, sorry, that's me. 400 PV, you also get free enrollment as well as the free shipping. So there's a substantial savings there, really substantial. And then preferred customers who place a 100 PV order, they get free shipping as well. So any product ordered at enrollment, including packs, a la carte and NFR, will count toward volume qualifications. So all the details when you log into your ASEA virtual office, they've been showing up, at least on our end, on our homepage. So just be familiar with what's going on so you can help enroll people and save them money. So the upcoming events is not extensive, but I've done my best to pull it all together in terms of a great place to go to is Redox events, the Passwords Associate, that's the Facebook group. And also Alyssa Tucker does a brilliant job of keeping that all up to date. ateamsupport.com, which is our upline Trish and Bob Schwenkler's website. They have a list of events and the Passwords Associate, as well as you can log into your ASEA virtual office, go menu, and then I think menu, resources, virtual office calendar. So just stay up to date on what events are happening in terms of webinars at the moment everywhere. When it comes to May, of course, on the 3rd of May, Ed and Rebecca, our amazing upline sponsors, have their team call. So it correlates to these dates in Australia and Asia on Monday, May 4th as well. I know a lot of you have been on that call. Hoping all this information's right, but Lorene is scheduled for Monday, 4th of May, 7 p.m. Brisbane time for a training webinar. So advancinglifeintro.com is the link for that one there. And Janine Babauskas is doing the Discover ASEA webinar on Monday as well at a later time. So it'll be 10 p.m. New South Wales, Victoria. It's to help include the Asian market. And David, I hope this is right, on Wednesday, May 6th at 8 p.m. Brisbane time, the amazing Triple Diamond David He will be doing a Discover ASEA presentation in Mandarin. Take a screenshot of that Zoom link so you can be sure to get it to people who speak Mandarin and get them to join in. Nicole Dennis, Ambassador Diamond, is scheduled for this week's Australian Expert in the House webinar. That's the 6th of May. And Julie and Dr. Wayne Pickstone do a phenomenal Discover ASEA webinar every single Thursday in Australia at 7:30 p.m. Brisbane time. And yet again, it's a different Zoom link, so just be aware of that. Christina Williams does the best newsletter in ASEA. I'm not sure if you've subscribed to her newsletter. I have those details on top of my head, but she has an update of all the events weekly.
Christina, if you're on, if you can put on maybe in the chat box how to,
somebody knows, yeah,
how to sign up for that. But anyone that's part of that can send that link around.
Certainly join in. Our next leadership webinar is on the 6th of June, so just keep that in mind as well. And in terms of the Diamond Tour of Australia, we're just not 100% sure where that's at right now. May have to go virtually, but these are the dates anyway. It's still fully booked in. We'll just have to keep you updated. And in August, there'll be a grand opening in the Philippines on the 15th of August and 21st to 22nd of August in Malaysia, which is really exciting. So I'm looking really forward to that. Okay, Christina, Mal, thanks Mal. Mal also said Christina's newsletter is also on WhatsApp. So Christina's amazing. September also, of course, we've got the 10-year convention celebration in Anaheim. So we're really excited. Tickets are 422 Australian dollars. You can buy and order all major tickets in your ASEA virtual office. You log in, go to your shopping cart and click on event tickets. So that's fast way of being able to do that, or go to ASEAconvention.com. In November, we have the amazing Presidential Triple Diamond Trish Schwenkler coming out on these dates. So we'll keep you updated. We're really excited about that.
Yeah, and we're looking at potentially making a couple adjustments to that. We'd love to get her up to the Blue Mountains as well. So
we'll just see what pans out. And then, of course, thinking ahead, planning ahead in terms of next year for Envision, yet again, your ASEA virtual office. You can save $98 Australian right now, which is substantial savings. So be sure to do that. And of course, the following day, we have our peak performance training event at the same location at the Gold Coast Exhibition and Convention Centre. And right now, when it comes to that, you can save $52 until the 15th of June. So there's a summary of how to quickly find things, but mostly go to your ASEA virtual office for ASEA events and this link here for the Australian events. So I know I've probably missed a lot of events for overseas as well, but just check them out in your virtual office and stay tuned on these WhatsApp groups as well. So here is a subscription to our newsletter. It is not going out as often these days, but we certainly have those monthly updates.
Or a shortcut, if you just go to thekotters.com, it'll actually have the subscription right there, right now.
Yeah, that's true. It is showing up right now, so you can subscribe other people. We have the amazing Ambassador Triple Diamond, Richard Lee, who will be translating this webinar straight after in Mandarin. So we're really excited that Richard's able to do that. And that's it for us. And a final happy birthday to Bart. We will see you on the 6th of June, the 5th of June in the USA. So truly grateful for all of the participation from the panelists today. Thank you so much, Ed, for making Bart's birthday very special. I was hoping to see some incriminating photographs, but maybe you've saved them for a later time. So there's probably no doubt some. And also thank you to Dr. Dick and to Nancy Walker for being there to join us today, as well as the amazing, thank you, Dick, Sword and Dan Doyle. So you make our webinars, you truly do. We're so grateful and honoured that you're part of our team and you make us better people every day. You truly do. So thank you. And unless anyone wants to throw in anything else.
There's some maybe we can stop the recording. There's some Q&A there as well.
Okay. Anyone have any parting words they want to share, or are we good?
Right there.
All right there. Perfect.
Okay.